At this point, we may be tempted to say that our unit tests for the isDietRecommended method are ready. After all, we've got a unit test for return true and a unit test for return false. However, if you take a look at the method body, you can see on line 11 that it also throws an exception when height is 0. So that's a great opportunity to write another unit test. Let's do some copy pasting of the previous unit test, and the new unit test should be named should throw arithmetic exception when height 0. Let's change the height to 0.0. And to test for an exception, we need another type of assertion, assert throws. Press Ctrl space and choose the first option, and you can see that two arguments are required. The expected type, which is arithmetic exception.class, and an executable. To understand why we need a second argument here, let's take a quick look at our previous unit test. On line 31, we invoke isDietRecommended with completely legit values for weight and height. The method is executed normally, and it stores its results in the recommended variable. Now, if we go back to line 45, things get a bit more complicated. If we execute isDietRecommended and we expect it to throw an exception, the method execution will be broken here and the exception will be thrown. This means that our program will never reach the then part and the assert throws invocation on line 48 below. Instead of executing the method here, we need something which is potentially executable. Instead of a Boolean variable, we need an executable variable. Press Ctrl space and choose the one from JUnit Jupyter. Let's name it simply executable. On the right-hand side, we now need a lambda expression. To change this invocation into a lambda expression, all we need to do is add an empty pair of brackets and an arrow operator. Now we have an executable, which means it will not be executed immediately. Instead, we pass the executable to assert throws, so it can execute the lambda for itself and check if it throws an exception. Now let's try to run this test, and there we go. Everything passes with flying colors. So this is how you can test if a method throws an exception in JUnit 5.